Now you see the male accessory glands. Now these paired seminal vesicles of prostate. Prostate is not paired, and paired bulbourethral glands. Now secretion of these glands constitute the seminal plasma. So now seminal plasma rich in fructose, calcium, and certain enzymes. So fructose, calcium, and certain enzymes. Right. Now the secretion of bulbourethral glands, they help in lubrication of the penis. Okay, now the female reproductive system. Now it has pair of ovaries and oviducts, uterus, then cervix, vagina, and external genitalia. Okay, so oviducts, fallopian tubes, I mean the oviducts, that's fallopian tubes, and then uterus and vagina. So these are like accessory ducts in the female. Then they have the mammary glands. The mammary glands, you know the mammary glands. Okay, the ovaries are the primary the primary female sex organs that produce the female gamete, ovum, and several steroid hormones, that is estrogen and progesterone. These are the steroidal hormones. These are the ovarian hormones, you know. Okay, now now this is now the ovaries are located one on each side of the lower abdomen, one on each side of the lower abdomen. Right. Now the oviduct, that is fallopian tubes, uterus, and vagina constitute the female accessory ducts. Right now. Okay, so from the periphery of each ovary to the uterus, so this fallopian tube extends. Now the part closer to the ovary is the funnel shape, that is infundibulum. The edges of this infundibulum passes finger-like projection. These are fimbria, which help in the collection of the ovum after ovulation. So the infundibulum leads to the wider part, that is ampulla, and then to the lower part, that is narrow, that is isthmic. So fallopian tube constitutes of like fimbria, then infundibulum, then ampulla, and then isthmus, then uterine fundus, as you can see, then uterine cavity. Okay, then endometrium, myometrium, and perimetrium, then cervix, then cervical canal, and then vagina. So this is it. Right, you see. So the uterus is single, and it is also called the womb. So this uterus is, it is inverted pear shape, and it is womb. Okay, now it is inverted pear. Now 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 the main important thing is uterus opens into vagina through a narrow cervix. The cavity of the cervix is called the cervical canal. Okay, so which along with vagina forms the birth canal. Okay, now the wall of the uterus has three layers. Perimetrium, the outside one. The middle is the thick layer of the smooth muscle. It goes into the contraction. And myometrium, no, not goes into the contraction. Okay, oxytocin and all that. The myometrium, and inner, that is a glandular layer, that is endometrium. Now endometrium, that lines the uterine cavity. The endometrium undergoes cyclic changes during menstrual cycle, while the myometrium exhibits strong contraction during the delivery of the baby. Okay, so now female external genitalia includes mons pubis, labia majora. Now the female external genitalia includes mons pubis, labia majora, labia minora, hymen, and clitoris. Now mons pubis is a cushion of fatty tissue covered by skin and pubic hair. So mons pubis is a cushion of fatty tissue covered by skin and pubic hair. Labia majora is a fleshy folds of tissue which extend down from the mons pubis and surround the vaginal opening. Labia minora, these are paired folds of tissue. These are paired folds of tissue under the labia majora. Okay, the opening of the vagina is often covered partially by a membrane called the hymen. So hymen is a membrane, and that covers the vagina. Now clitoris is a tiny finger-like structure, okay, which lies at the upper junction of the two labia minora above the urethral opening. Okay, now the hymen is often torn during the first intercourse. Okay, so or maybe due to vaginal tampon or active participation in some sports like horseback riding and cycling. And in some women, the hymen persists even after the coitus. So in fact, the presence of or absence of hymen is not a reliable indicator of virginity or sexual experience. Right. So this is it. Now the mammary glands, like mammary glands have like fats and mammary lobes. Now fats and mammary lobes. Now mammary lobes, these are 15 to 20. Okay, they have the cluster of alveoli and their ducts. Now what you can see, like okay, now alveoli. So alveoli have their duct. Now this duct open into the alveoli into so alveolar duct opens into mammary tubules. Now the tubules of each alveoli, they form a mammary duct. Okay, now several ducts form the mammary ampulla. So tubules, then ducts, and then they form the mammary. Like tubules, duct, and then they form the mammary ampulla, okay, which is connected to the lactiferous duct to the, okay. Now gametogenesis, you see the spermatogenesis, that is spermatogonia, then primary spermatocytes, then secondary spermatocytes, then spermatids, and then spermatozoa, that is formation of sperm. This is, so spermatid to spermatozoa, that is sperm, that is the spermiogenesis. Remember, it is spermiogenesis. And spermato and the release of the spermatozoa from the Sertoli cells into the seminiferous cavity. Seminiferous cavity, it is known as spermation. So spermiogenesis and spermation, and from spermatogonia to like spermatozoa, it whole process is the like spermatogenesis, right? And you see like primary spermatocyte, these are, so primary spermatogonia, it is diploid. Primary to spermatocyte is also diploid. Secondary spermatocyte, it is haploid, and sperms are haploid, okay. So this is it. Now spermatogenesis starts at the age of the puberty due to the significant increase in the secretion of gonadotropin releasing hormone, that is GnRH. So GnRH, it is a hypothalamic hormone secreted from the hypothalamus, and it acts on the anterior pituitary. Now anterior pituitary is kind of like feedback mechanism, right? So it's kind of feedback hormone, so it also secretes like gonads. Now it is a hypothalamic hormone. The increased levels of GnRH then acts at the anterior pituitary gland and stimulates levels of GnRH then acts at the anterior pituitary gland and stimulates secretion of two gonadotropins. So LH, so two gonadotropins like LH, like luteinizing hormone, and follicle stimulating hormone, that is FSH. So so LH acts as a leading cells and stimulates and synthesis secretion of androgens. So androgen in turn stimulates the process of spermatogenesis. So FSH acts on the Sertoli cells and stimulates the process of stimulate the secretion of some factors which help in the process of spermiogenesis, okay. Now on the sperm has like